Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning. Welcome. I am just getting set up here and you know what? Yeah, let me do that until we get everything going. Yes. So, this is another Wednesday morning, and this morning I am going to have a special guest on this morning. She's having a little bit of technical difficulties getting set up. So, in the meantime, while she's getting everything set up and getting logged on, I want to introduce this topic. This is going to be a good topic. So, the last couple weeks, I've been doing lives and different content about Black girl depression, and I bel it's so important to me because it's something that I've experienced, something I have been working through, and I have recognized that a lot of times, and even for myself, I didn't recognize what was feeling off until I watched a video about the symptoms, about the things that someone else was experiencing, and specifically someone who looked like me, because the experiences that other people have had don't look the same. They don't, it doesn't affect us the same way. Um, and so from that, it's been a little bit of a struggle to try and, when you can't figure out what's wrong, you don't know how to move forward. And that is disheartening. It's uncomfortable. It's a lot to try to manage, especially when you're trying to manage it by yourself. So, I want you to know that I'm here, that we're here, that there are resources for you, and because here's the other thing, if you don't know that you are depressed or that you're not recognizing your symptoms, then you don't recognize that maybe therapy is the thing for you, or maybe that these somatic options are a thing for you, or this today's specific topic, if you think that your symptoms are happening because you're getting old, like if you think that you are not as well rested, or that you're tired all the time, or that your eye is twitching, or that you're gaining weight, just because that's a part of getting old, then you will continue to settle for just allowing those things to keep happening. So we want to talk about what it looks like to change that. We want to bring some light to those symptoms so that it's not just about, so that you're not settling with the idea that, oh, since I'm getting old, I just have to be okay with this. Like, there's actually a healing path out of this. And so we want to talk about that this morning. Okay. So my guest is here. So I'm going to go ahead and get us switched over. If you are here, make sure you say hello in the chat. You know that I love to shout you out and welcome you. So, yes, good morning. Good morning. Those are not symptoms of aging. Come on, you better talk about it. Okay, let me go ahead and spend a second and get both of us in here. That's not the right visual. And get this fixed. Almost there. One more second. Okay, there we are. There's Annie. Good morning. Good morning, Annie. Can you hear me?
Good morning. I hear you very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So excited to have you
Can you hear
on
me?
this morning. Hmm.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, awesome, awesome. Yes. Okay, so before we jump in, we got a couple people in the chat. Good morning, Leslyn. So happy you're here today. Good morning, Mimi. Happy you could join as well. I love having these conversations, and I love when you guys could join live, because then you get to have these conversations with some of these amazing resources as well. You guys, uh any is how do I best explain any? Any has been a bit of a lifesaver for me, for specifically around these symptoms. Last year, I gained 20 pounds like it was nothing. My eye was twitching. I was having these physical symptoms, and I didn't necessarily attribute it to age, but I knew something was wrong and I couldn't figure out not only what the problem was, but how to start moving into healing them. And so Annie's expertise though is she's a naturopathic doctor or and a registered dietitian. And so she was able to help me really jump into a plan that has changed so much for me. So that's why the topic today, or why I put on the thumbnail, heal Black girl depression naturally with food. Now, I know that I'm not saying don't add in therapy, but I'm saying sometimes our symptoms are so heavy. Our symptoms are so much of a weight that we can't even get to the therapy because we're just overwhelmed. So I can go on and on about any you tell us who you are, a little bit about your channel and what makes you passionate.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Innie, also known as the Niger Goddess. And I'm very grateful to be here today with my dear friend, Rashadat, who's amazing. Um, I embarked on this lifestyle through my own personal struggles. Since I was probably a teenager, I struggled mightily with depression. I didn't know it was depression until I was probably in my 20s. And I didn't realize the power of food and what you actually swallow, how it really makes an impact on your body, and understanding getting to the root cause to eliminate feeling like crap because we don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've just spent my recent life dedicated to helping other people not struggle, especially for the years and decades that I did. So
Mm-hmm.
taking the information that I've learned and sharing it with others so that they can live their best lives.
Yes, I love it. And you guys, if you're not already subscribed to Annie's channel, Annie does an amazing series here in Charlotte. She does it live where it's a educational section and then there's also a cooking class section where she talks about where she gives you recipes to heal your body naturally with food in addition to talking about and really debunking so many of the myths that we have around food. It is so good. She's going to be putting that on her YouTube channel in the near future. So you want to make sure you're subscribed and you have on turn on notifications now. So whenever they come out, you can be on that list and get them because they are golden. I have learned so much and it's been so helpful to me. So before we jump in, yes, I want to answer some questions. Leslin says, "Good morning, Niger Goddess. Are you Nigerian? Are you any chance Yoruba?" So we're both Nigerian actually. I was gonna say that any says my name correctly. She says Rashadat, which that is my name. I've grown up in America, so I always say Rashida because I know it makes it easier. But yes. But any, you're not Yoruba. Tell them about your tribe.
I'm from Akwa Ibom State, Oron,
Yes,
so the sixth largest ethnic group.
yes.
But I've lived most of my life in the United States, and I am a proud Nigerian. That's why I'm the Niger Goddess.
Come on, come
So thanks for
on.
catching that. Most people don't catch that.
She said, "Come on, let's bring it out." Come on, Leslin, for bringing out. Yes. So, and then I am Yoruba. So with different tribes, but so much love, so much connection. I love it. I love it. Okay. What else did we have in here? So many good comments. Y'all come on with it. Y'all like, listen, we bringing the conversation. Yes, it's great to see you too. Hi, Annie. So inspired by you. Yay. Yes. Oh, because Mimi, you guys have talked already too. Yes. You guys, we haven't got to this. I don't want to jump ahead, but Annie has some great ways for you to connect to her. So I will make sure we talk about that before the end of this conversation. And then so it sounds like we need to reclaim our name as a part of our freedom walk. Come on. Yes. Come on, girl. That's part of it. I need to do a whole video about that. I've been trying to figure out how I want to do that, Mimi. So then we can reclaim your name too. I understand Mimi's easier, but girl, your full name is beautiful. That's a whole nother conversation. I can't wait to get with it. Yes, I'm with it. I'm also descended from the Europe people. Come on, Leslin. I love it. Just subscribe to your channel. Can't wait. I love it. This is going to be such a good conversation. So good. Okay. So jumping in, like I said, we have been mistakenly thinking that a lot of these things are just symptoms that we have to deal with. That because a lot of times doctors and any, I know this is a part of your story, like you had PCOS and your doctor was just like, there's no way to fix this, you just have to deal with it. But that ended up not being your story. So how did that actually change for you?
Well, when I had the PCOS diagnosis, I also had several other diagnoses of super high cholesterol, diabetes, depression, ovarian cysts, a bunch of fibroids. I was morbidly obese, like well over 300 pounds. My hair was falling out. My skin was terrible. I had absolutely no energy whatsoever. So all those things, I just did everything because, as our Nigerian friends on the podcast know, they don't really care if you're sick or not. You better get it done. So I only accomplished anything in life because of sheer willpower and because my dad was like, get it together. So, but I had no actual energy, nothing. Um, so yeah, so that's what they told me. They're like, these things are not reversible.
Mhm.
You just have to manage the symptoms for the rest of your life. When you turn 35, we'll just give you a full hysterectomy. And that, basically, and this is, they're telling me this at 22, 23. So like, wait 10, 12 years and they'll just do a hysterectomy and then you'll be healed at that point. And until then, we'll just manage your symptoms. And it just seemed like that's all, that's it. You're going to take all my organs and then I still suffer for the next 10, 12, 15 years. Like, it didn't sit well with me, but I didn't know what else to do. So, getting the education that transformed my life and understanding the power of food and that everything that we need to heal our bodies is already here on planet Earth, and really just literally changed my lifestyle. I didn't do it for any other reason than to have some energy. I just hated just pushing myself so hard to get the smallest things done.
Mhm.
And when I changed what I was eating and changed my whole lifestyle, not just what I was eating, my whole lifestyle, and I saw that everything I just did completely went away. Like, completely went away. I was pretty pissed off. I was pretty part of my 30s, suffering needlessly when no one said, hey, it's the food. Hey, it's truly the lifestyle. No one said that. They were just like, oh, yeah, eat in moderation, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Follow the standard American diet. Eat just a little bit of bacon, a little bit of cheese instead of a lot of bacon, a lot of cheese, and you'll be fine. And that's not the case. And so when I learned that everything we pretty much learned is a lie, I said, okay, I'm making this my loving duty to help others so that they don't have to suffer needlessly, because we don't.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to suffer needlessly. But the thing is, the industries make money off of it. So rather than telling us, hey, if you actually don't do this, you won't actually be in the hospital as much and you won't need to be on medication. Because I just talked about three different industries that are making money off of us being sick, off of us being depressed, off of us continuing to just keep going after this American dream in so many different ways, and it's actually killing us. Like, it's crazy. So, when you talk about the lifestyle change that you made, what did that entail?
I watched a documentary that changed my life on a dime. I went into my kitchen and I took out all the crap, everything that was processed, ultra processed, put it in the trash. Everything that had more than ingredients I couldn't pronounce, put it in the trash. Anything that had dairy in it, put it in the trash. All meat of any dead animal of any sort, I donated to uh, people who were still in need in that kind of way. I donated, and I got rid of all that crap. I started eating fruits and vegetables and whole grains. I started exercising, and I started filling my mind with positivity and started learning about how the body actually works. And everything changed. All of a sudden, I had boundless energy. I had never been as energetic I had been. I at that time was in my 30s, and just like I felt like I was 15. I mean, I just had so much energy. It was just crazy. Everything changed, and so I realized the importance when they say lifestyle medicine or lifestyle factors, how that is the root cause. Like I addressed the root cause, what was actually causing the issues that I was living with. And I did not know, you keep putting band-aids on bullet wounds, you're still going to bleed out. It's going to be even slower and more painful. Your quality of life suffers. And I just didn't want to live like that anymore. So once I realized that, hey, it really truly is the food at the end of the day, it really truly is your micro macronutrients that you are probably not getting in the right proportions, and how it makes a huge impact. I just said I gotta let the people know. Then my hair started growing, my skin came amazing, my energy went through the roof. No fibroids went away on their own. No cysts on my ovaries. Cholesterol went to great. My blood pressure, everything fantastic. Only because I changed my diet and started moving my body.
Yeah. Yeah. All because we changed our diet and start moving our body. Come on. So my experience with that, I told you guys over the last couple weeks that I have been working through some depression and some symptoms that I have been experiencing on my own. Also, too, I think it's good to point this out that a lot of times by the time you're feeling depression, like the strong symptoms of it, you have been going on a bit of a downward fall way longer than when you started feeling it. And so a part of that comes with other physical things that are changing in your body, your hormones, the way you're reacting. And if you're not watching your food and getting your supplements, all of those things go to hell in a handbasket really fast. And so any actually makes a very amazing organic and tasty sea moss that I started taking that CMOS every day. And that is what really pulled me out to start working on the other parts of my depression by actually taking this time to reset some of the physical parts of my symptoms. And so it was really huge for me. We're not even gonna, it's a whole nother topic to get into the benefits of CMOS and all of that. So I'm not gonna go that far. But what I want you to hear was the lifestyle changes helped combat the depression that we're feeling. And we're not, and when I say the lifestyle changes, it's not just one thing. We are always looking, we've been in this capitalist market that makes us think that we just need a silver bullet, that we just need to change this one thing. It's always a holistic change that allows us to come out of where whatever low point it is, because it can be different low points, to come back up to the surface. So okay, I want to get to a couple comments with that. Okay. Mimi said, and it's so frustrating because the experts out here misleading us and causing us to make decisions we can't undo based on that. Yes. Nobody wants to get into something that they didn't understand exactly what was happening, and now it's made things worse and it feels like you can't go back. That's such a hard place to be. I totally agree. And then Leslin says, or eat real food and leave the manufactured stuff alone. Come on, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I do have this love of hot dogs, but I don't
That
eat
part.
them anymore. Because if a hot dog is gonna take me out, it ain't worth me eating that hot dog. Okay. So yes, I agree with that. True. If all I wanted was the bag, then that's where it is. Such a good documentary. Um, I love it because real food does heal. I agree. Very true. You feel it after it happens. Ain't that the truth? OMG, give us the sea moss as children as children in the Caribbean. Come on. Exactly. Listen, I'm gonna give you her website. I'll tell you it now. Her website is thenijagaddis.com. She has so many amazing products, so many different options on there, and I want to get into even more of that. But let me come back to the question, okay? Um, so we already know that the symptoms are not something that we have to settle for anymore. You just heard the list of symptoms that Annie said that when she changed her lifestyle, that included, how she moved her body, what she chose to put in her body, when she changed that. Literally, her whole list of diagnosis went away. went away on its own. It wasn't any pill, and I think that also included having to that you got off of different medicines as well, right, Annie?
That's correct. I was on thyroid medication for hypothyroidism. I was on some kind of cholesterol. I don't some other stuff I can't remember, but I know for sure I was on thyroid medication.
So
Gone.
we
Yeah.
changing our lifestyle and our food, the things that we put in our body sets us back at at a good foundation, because here's the reality: we were under the foundation, and just resetting our lifestyle on our food put us back at that foundation and set us up to be able to move forward. So huge. So with that being said, what are 3 steps that you would tell somebody? And this is, I'm asking you this, but I want you to kind of try to give them as like 3 easier steps, because there's so many steps. There's a lot of steps, but 3 easier steps to get started, to get from this this where we're at, this lower place, back to that we could get to just our bare minimum, and then start moving forward from that. 3 things to move from that.
Well, the first thing is really your mindset. Mindset's the main thing. You can go through the action, but if your mind's not there, understand that when you go to these traditional doctors, their intention is to help, but they have one toolbox with one set of tools. They don't know anything about natural medicine and they did not learn that. They learn pharmacology. So just understand that, and understand that if you want to do a more natural, holistic approach, that you need to go to someone who has that toolbox.
Mhm.
So that's the first thing. Number two is to be easy on yourself. Understand, okay, I am here now. The fact of realizing that you are where you are today, that's okay. Once you've realized that, it's like, okay, now that I see this is where I am and I don't want to be here, I'm going to be kind to myself and take the time to research, to reach out to the team that I actually need, and be open to making the changes, though it might be gradual because it didn't get here overnight. It's not going to leave overnight. So those two pieces are very critical before you start doing anything, is to get your mind and expectations assimilated. Then the
Mhm.
next thing I would do is saying, some people say, hey, I don't have the money to just throw out my food or anything like that. I understand that. Just when you replenish with things that are better. And I try to use the crowd out method. So instead of saying stop eating this and stop doing that, saying add this and add that. When you add more and more goodness to your plate, that it squeaks out all the stuff that's not as good, not as healthy. And that's how you can start. So doing those 3 things initially would just, it costs really no money, and it takes the time you need, and you're being kind and loving to yourself.
I love that. I love that. I want to go through each of those. So let's go back to the first one where you said the doctors don't have they don't have an understanding of natural medicine in their toolkit. Now, I've been in your class, so I know what you're going to say, but explain to everybody what you mean by that, and what does that actually look like?
Well, first of all the pharmaceuticals are mimicking something in nature, but you
Mm.
cannot patent nature. Okay, they can't. So the natural, like aspirin, is white willow bark. You cannot patent white willow bark because that was God created. Okay, so because of that, they add one molecule to it. Now it's something new, and now that it's patentable, now they can sell it. Okay, so that's the first thing. So all the pharmaceuticals are based on something they got it from nature. So
Mhm.
in the natural world, we just use the stuff in nature. Okay, so of course there's no margins. You're not getting rich or anything like that, but it works, right? And it addresses the root cause, and there are no side effects. Okay, like they've made you become accustomed to in allopathic medicine. So that's the first thing. So when they go to school, they learn just that way how to use pharmaceuticals to treat, not to cure, to treat your symptoms, because it's about symptom suppression. That's the difference between the allopathic model and the naturopathic model. One is symptom suppression, where you swap one symptom for another, right? That's what the side effects are. So you reduce the main symptom, but you've increased other symptoms, but it's not as bad as the main symptom you were, complaining about. So that's what they do, and that's the toolkit that they have, and they have a whole host of drugs that they use to treat and suppress and manage your symptoms.
Mhm.
Versus the naturopathic route, where it's like, okay, let's find the root why. We understand the why of it and say, okay, here's the path it's going to take for you to eliminate this for good. right? And so
Mhm.
it's not a pill you're going to take where you're going to feel immediate relief. You have to do the lifestyle changes. And we have been set up in this convenience model society in Western society where it's like, well, I don't feel anything. I've been taking it for 3 days and I don't feel any effects. You didn't get there in 3 days. So that's what I mean. There's two different toolkits. So that's why you have to have an understanding and have your mind open. Say, okay, this person's coming from this toolkit. I have an expectation of what they're going to provide. This person comes from this other toolkit, and when you can find someone that can bridge both, like then you have a balance of both worlds. So get your healthcare team together. I'm not saying don't do allopathic at all. I'm just saying make sure you know what toolkit they're coming from and that they're there to support you because your doctor works for you. You should not be scared to go to your doctor. You shouldn't be scared to talk to your doctor. Their healthcare team works for you. And if they're not supportive of you in that way, then get another team.
Yeah. There's so many nuggets in there. Get a team, not just a doctor. Get a naturopathic doctor and an allopathic doctor because they both come with different things. And in my personal opinion, I've seen it be rare that someone does both. But you should have one that if you're doing one thing with one, you should be able to have a conversation with the other, and even maybe do a group conversation where you all come up with a solution together that combines some of
Correct.
the allopathic and the naturopathic things together based on whatever situation that you're going through. But here's the thing, you have to lead that conversation because a allopathic doctor is not going to do that. You have to have that kind of autonomy and what's the word I'm looking for? Show up for yourself. Advocation for yourself. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, so there's a couple comments. Going to the doctor for this. Going to the doctor for this help is like going to the hardware store for for grapefruits. Sometimes it really is. And that's why we need the team. We need both because if we expect a doctor to we in our heart and our mind, we think, oh, the doctor would tell us if there was a natural way to help us fix this, right? But if they don't understand the natural ways,
Right.
if they don't understand the basics of what Annie just said, how every medicine comes from nature and it's just tweaked so that it can be patented and sold. If a doctor doesn't understand that, they're not looking to understand the natural version. All they care, because that's not what was told, that's not what was taught in school. That's not what was given to them. And they're going based on what they were given. So I agree. It's so important to have a team that can help you navigate between the two. For example, I have been working through decreasing my high blood pressure. And a lot of it has to do with my cortisol levels being high. But my allopathic doctor didn't say anything about that. All they did was they gave me a little pill and said, take this, and if it's not working, we'll give you more, or we'll try a different one with more symptoms or more things that can affect you. What's the word I'm looking for? Not symptoms. Bad effects. So if I didn't have any on the other side that I can say, hey, this seems, I can understand this being a short-term solution, but could you help me find a long-term solution? If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be moving from a full pill to a half pill. That doctor would have had me taking more and more and more. And those medicines have so many negative effects on our body. It's just I want to, I think when we talk about the specifics around it, I think it helps people understand why I'm so passionate about this and why this was such an important live that I wanted to have. So that's why I'm telling you these things. Like it's not just as simple as taking a pill, because you didn't just get that way overnight. And if you do the actual work, you can fully heal rather than just suppressing your symptoms. And that's what an allopathic doctor is trying to do. Okay. So, lies they tell us, the effects of pharmacology is death. And here's the thing, there are so many people that I do believe there are people in pharmacology that truly want to help. But there are also so many people that want to make money off of it too,
Definitely.
especially here in the US. So it's not so simple as just being wrong. It's the motivations of so many different pieces all in this one industry that are actually their values are not very well aligned, and we the people get the negative effects of that. And uh it's disproportionately affecting us. Because we didn't even get into the effects of dairy and all of those other things. That again, that's another conversation for another day. Make sure you go over and get on Indy's channel because she goes so deep into all of these conversations. And it's so worth it for you to learn that these things negatively affect the Black body disproportionately more than Caucasians and other white people and other
Absolutely.
races. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to leave that at that. Let me go back to the comments and then I'm going to go to my next question. That's true. The efficacy of these meds are such that we develop a resistance and we keep taking more and more. It is. And not only that, they don't have another solution. So their only solution is to give you more. And sometimes they give you more and it doesn't even make it better, but they just keep telling you to take more because they really haven't figured out what else to do. It is a hot mess. Correct. It is not a simple thing. It is a very intricate balance to find. It is such an intricate balance. QQ, question any, are eggs considered dairy? That's an interesting question.
No, but it should not be consumed, or if you do choose to consume, it should be consumed in moderation, and they should be of the highest quality. That's a
Yeah.
whole other conversation. We can get into the nutrition of it, or lack thereof, but no, it's not considered dairy. Dairy is the byproduct of any kind of mammalian milk. So any kind of cheese of any sort, any kind of milk carry from any mammalian.
Okay. Again, I'm not going to go too deep in that. But let me tell you what any didn't say this, but I'm going to tell you what I've heard any say about eggs. Eggs are you are eating chicken, period. Okay. When Annie said
That's
that, I
correct.
said, wow, I never thought of it like that. And here's the thing, I never liked eggs. So when I realized that my body didn't need eggs, girl, I let them things go. Now, as Annie said, if you're going to eat eggs, you should eat it as like get a very high quality version of it, not these ones pumps with hormones and all the other things, but that's for any of our food. But I just wanted to leave that for something to think about because that's a whole nother
That's
topic.
correct.
A whole nother topic. Okay, so the second thing that you said, you also said mindset. Now, I know that, therapy is not always free. I will say that there are free resources out there. So don't just assume that paying for a therapist is out of your budget. Check for free resources. It might not be the long term therapy that you need, but it might be some of the things that'll get you started in your specific situation. So look for free resources that'll help you get started on fixing your mindset. And then, within that, I think the other thing that, especially us, coming back to so much of what I always talk about, being a strong Black woman, we tend to not ask for help. We tend to feel like we should take on all the responsibility. Like we're default to taking on responsibility before anybody else. We are the first to um we are the first to push to do more and to always hold more. And I want you to just, when you're in this place, have a conversation with yourself to say, there's so much grace for me to need. Like we're scared of being needy because we've been told that that's a bad thing, but you have needs. That's part of what makes you a human. So I encourage you to receive that. And you are so beautiful. You have so much to offer. You have so much value, so much worth, even though you have needs. You have so much value because you have needs. I think that God and other people love being able to support us and to be and to know that we are needed by them, and that's part of what makes us a community. So I'm gonna get off this little rant, but I say it even for myself. As much as I want to serve other people, I am really pushing myself and my mindset to allow myself to receive from others as well. Because so much of our depression is that we're trying to hold everything rather than allowing ourselves to receive. So I'm gonna let that go, and I'm gonna move on to the third thing. The third thing that Annie said. Tell me again. I didn't got in so many. I didn't got off on it so many times. Tell me what the third thing was again, Annie.
Crowd out method.
Say that one more. Oh, the crowd out
Can you hear
method.
me?
Yes, the crowd out method. Okay, sorry, it was going in and out. Okay, and I'm gonna get to that. Let me go to the comments here for a second. I witnessed that firsthand with my grandpa, and it was awful to watch them struggle through finding the solution that they still don't have, yet while he's been suffering the whole time. Again, coming back to this first point about having a team with naturopathic and allopathic, um, giving more and more medicine because they don't know what to do. Like, and this is where we have to be a part of our we have to be a part of our health journey. We can't just hand over our lives and our journey back to health and to healing. We can't just hand it over to a doctor. We have to be actively a part of it. And I know that's hard, but there are resources out here like any that will be able to help you and be a part of that. And that's why we suggest have a team. You don't have to know it all. There are great people out here. No, it might not always be in your insurance, but would you rather pay for the help that's actually going to tip the scale rather than continually paying co-pays and insurance premiums and all of these other things that actually aren't going to heal you, that are actually going to get you to being refreshed and whole again. Again, I could go on a whole tangent about that. That was my argument as well. I love it. I agree. I agree. It's hard. And it's hard for us it's hard for a lot of us to even go to the doctor because we know the things that the past has happened, of how our bodies have been taken advantage of here in the States by because of slavery and so many other things. And yet we also still have to take a stand to make sure we get healing. Like, don't just not get healing because of that, you know? Leslie says, yes, that is what it is. The chicks come from it. Yes, girl, chicken periods. It's one of those things we don't, I never put my mind to that until she said it out loud. You are so right. Oh, I love it. I'm sad that you have to go, but I'm glad you got a chance to stop in. Leslie said, ladies, I have a meeting. I'm at work, but I'm listening in the background. Come on, girl. Do what you got to do. I love it. We're here for it. Okay. So then Annie was talking about the crowd out method. I really appreciate you saying that because it makes it tangible and it makes it easy and it makes it feel like we don't have to go from 0 to 100 in just 2 seconds, because making such a huge change in our diet and our lifestyle can feel financially overwhelming, not let alone physically and mentally overwhelming to go from such a big change. So I love that. Crowd out, meaning that we start with, so here's the first thing that I let go of. And Annie, I would love to hear the first thing that you started shifting out. When I started crowding out the things um that were in my pantry that were unhealthy, the first thing to go was um what's the word processed food. So uh, that was even down to the condiments, friends. So maybe some of those salad dressings, that ketchup, because here's the thing, all of those things have sugar, right? They are sugar. And
Sugar.
the
Refined
one
sugar.
right, refined sugar at that. Not even whole sugar, refined sugar. And Annie does a really good illustration of how our body processes sugar. So you're gonna hear me say this many times. Go over and find that on her channel. Um, maybe, and I'm sure we'll do another one. But these are all of the things that really impressed upon me how why these changes were important. Because the other thing is sometimes when someone says to us, "Hey, you need to make this change," we're like, "Oh, okay, I'll make it eventually," and we don't really see the urgency until we have an illustration like some of these to see how it truly affects our body. So, yes, the first thing I got rid of was processed food, even down to the condiments. I'm not saying that I don't have condiments. It's very, very rare though. I mean, like, honestly, this much of a Chick-fil-A container, I don't keep them at home unless it's organic or a vegan dressing. Like, I was so excited to tell any the other day. I finally found the garlic expressions salad dressing that I know she suggests. Like, but when you start doing it little by little, it's not overwhelming. And I also found that learning this new way of eating, it's like learning a new language, because from the time I was a child, that was not the things that we bought. I had to learn how to cook new recipes. I had to learn how to get the same level of flavor in these new ingredients that I had never cooked with. And I'm gonna say this again, and he has amazing recipes. So go ahead over there. Can you tell this woman has changed my life in so many different ways? So, but the other thing that I really love about this, when I came to Indy last year, I did the it was the extensive consultation where she had me go to the doctor. We did a whole bunch of blood work, and it's crazy because by the doctor's standards, by the allopathic doctor's standards, I was fine. But I knew that my health was off. And so I showed it to Annie, and Annie could immediately see this was off here, even though, like I said, the doctor said everything was fine. But Annie could see between the lines and see where things should be and where they shouldn't be from a naturopathic doctor perspective. And so when she gave me this plan that included supplements and food and exercise, what I appreciated so much is that she wasn't like, you need to give everything up right now. We talked through what are the things that I was passionate about, like things that I wasn't ready to give up and things that I had absolutely no issue giving up. And we created a plan that before I knew it, I hadn't really done anything, but I had lost 30 pounds like it was nothing. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that to say it started with this crowd out method because we picked different things and it has continued to evolve. So I say that for two reasons. For one, I feel like the crowd out method makes it easier and it makes it more attainable. But I also think it is really important because it helps you make a lifestyle change rather than just trying to go from 0 to 100. Okay, I've been talking a lot. Let me get into the comments again. That is so Rashid, so true, Rashadat. I'll say my name correctly. Yes. It is exactly like learning a new language. I love that analogy. It is. It's like there were things, and here's the thing. Annie has been doing this for a long time. So even sometimes she would be like, "Oh, do da da da," and I would be like, "What the heck?" And then I would come back later and I would try to cook this thing, and it was terrible. And she would say, "Oh, but did you do this?" And then I would realize, oh, I didn't even know that that was a thing. But here's the thing, it's okay. It's okay. It evolves, it gets better, and it gets easier. Annie's laughing at me because she knows. She knows how many mistakes I have made. But I feel so much better. Now, if you were in Charlotte, I would tell you to come over and stop at Love and Action because she is the owner of that restaurant. She's already there. They have a great and amazing food. They have transitional food, and then they also have more whole food plant-based options that are tasty, that are like not transitional, not as much fried. When I say transitional, think more of like the fries and burgers, healthier ingredients that are not necessarily healthily cooked, whereas they also have healthy ingredients that are also healthily
Correct.
cooked as well. So, okay, I went through a lot of things, so much information. That being said, uh, the whole topic is about like heal black girl depression naturally with food. What's the biggest thing that you want people to take away from this conversation today?
First of all, that depression always, you get to the genesis of the time is some type of stressful factor that is underlying it. But sometimes it can just be amplified. It could be a smaller situation, but it's having a more of an amplified effect on you, because you do have nutrient deficiencies. And for most people who have, they typically have very low levels of vitamin D, very low levels of butyrate in their gut, so they have poor gut health, not taking enough probiotics, so they have low serotonin, which is your happy hormone, and very like if it's warm, if you live in a place that's warm, you're not able to sit outside, that you're supplementing with vitamin D at least 5,000 IUs, even up to 10,000 IUs a day, to get your levels up. I highly recommend that you get a blood test to see where you are with everything, see where your iron levels are, see where your vitamin D levels are, and where your inflammation levels are, because you probably need a lot of diet, full of whole grains, right? So no white flour, no white sugar, no white rice. Um, Making sure you're properly hydrated with drinking.
Yes. All right. Thank you for being patient. Sometimes the internet is like, you got too many things going on, and other times it's fine, but it happens. It happens. Okay. So I was just finishing that up by saying that a lot of times we feel like um the symptoms that we have, that we just have to settle for them, that we're stuck with this for the rest of our life. And the truth is, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s can actually be the best time of your life, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And any you need to use that as, that needs to be your subtitle. Yeah, that needs to be your tagline. The body naturally with food so that your 40s, 50s, and 60s can be the best time of your life, because it really can. When we have these kind of, when we get into the natural side of taking care of our bodies and using the resources of both, we're not saying, we're not here to villainize the medical industry, but we are here to talk about how it's more than just the medicine. You need both sides of the solution to get to the health. And so now that you know that's a thing, take advantage of it. Get on Annie's website, check out her recipes. I have never had a recipe from her that I did not like. And it's from recipes all around the world. It's not, because now a lot of times when you see whole food plant-based, it tends to just be trying to recreate American food. But there you can literally eat a whole food plant-based diet through all the different cuisines. So take advantage of it. An amazing resource right here. Make sure you follow her channel. The other thing that I want to tell you, make sure that you share this video with another Black woman. This one, I mean, I am passionate about every single topic that we've talked about with Black girl depression, but this has been the topic that's got me moving towards freedom. So share this with another Black woman. Even if you don't think she's dealing with Black girl depression, she can still get something from this. So share this, share this, share this, put this out there, share it with others. And I hope that we can actually really take back our health in a way. I don't want us to, I don't want us to be overweight because we think that that's the only way that we can be. You can be juicy, but the overweight can take so much away from us. I don't want us to settle for a lesser quality of life because we think that that's the only thing that's available. We have so much more of a quality of life to experience. So, okay, I think, let me check the questions that are here. Uh, Mimi says, this might be a silly question. Oh, and not everything is showing right now. Here it is. Here it is. things were moving around because my computer decided it wanted to do its own thing. But that's all right. We're gonna fix it up here. Let me fix it. Nope, that didn't fix it either. Here we go. So Mimi said this might be a silly question, but is there a certain name for the blood test we should ask for to see all of these things? There's not just one test, there's a multiple list of tests. So when
Right.
you get on that call with any, she will give you the full list of all the things.
Yeah.
I literally took my whole list to the doctor, and here's the reason I did that. Insurance is going to pay for some of them, and then there's some of them that you're going to have to pay out of pocket, but it's still worth it. So yes, I can tell you that from experience, that that's what's going to look like there. Any, did you want to add anything to that?
No, you hit the nail on the head. So I have a whole
Uh-oh, you're
list.
muted.
Of, am I? Can you hear me now?
Oh my, of course, as that's probably because I
Hear me
got kicked
now?
out and brought back in. Okay, so since girl, okay, since I don't know how to fix that while we're in the midst of it, here's what I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you. Oh, you okay, never mind. Mimi
You can
can
hear
hear you
me?
even if I can't hear you. So go ahead, Annie. Go ahead and say
Oh,
it.
okay. Yes, I have a referral sheet that has a list of all of the blood work that you would need. That and I can work with your doctor. I do that on with many clients. I work with your allopathic doctor, and I'll explain to them why. Because sometimes they want to understand why I'm requesting certain blood tests. I'm happy to explain that to them, and I'll give you a form that will give you all the blood tests you need. And then once we get the results back, I'll review it from a holistic perspective to see what if you're in optimal range in terms of how your blood is, how your organs are functioning, and really be able to give you a detailed plan based on where you are today and your desired future state goals.
It's huge. It's huge, you guys. Yeah, again, worth it. Worth every penny I paid. Changed my life, continuing to change my life. You guys know that I just turned 40 this year, and knowing that I have spent the last year working with any, I know, like I said, my 40s, my 50s, my 60s are going to be even better than my earlier ages. So, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Okay. Any other questions or thoughts, ladies, before I leave or before we start closing out? I want to give them a second in the chat. While I'm giving them a second in the chat, any, you already know everything that you have done to help me learn how my body works so that I could be intentional and be a part of my own journey and my own healing for my body, which just boils out into my lifestyle, into my quality of life, to my mindset. All of those things have been so huge. So I thank you personally, but I also thank you for being on the channel today and doing this live and sharing your expertise with others. I thank you so much.
Well, I love you with all my heart, Rashida, and I'm glad that you asked me to be here. And I would just like to end with saying that our health is our responsibility. You don't turn it over to a doctor's hands, your husband's hands, your best friend's hands. At the end of the day, we are responsible for our own health and well-being, and getting the people around you to help you with that is part of your responsibility as well. And we have all the tools we need to live our best lives and to feel good while we're living them, and it's on us to do it. So don't be seduced by the marketing of your doctor didn't say this, your doctor didn't say that, or your mama said this and your husband said that. Do what you know when your body's off. You know when your body's on. You know when you feel good. You know when you don't. And listen to that because you're feeling that for a reason. And know and take the leap to put the priority on you and make sure that you're making a decision and know that that rests with you. So those are my final words. Just making sure you don't hand your health over to somebody else. Don't give the keys of your life and your health and your well-being, your happiness to anyone else because it is yours and yours alone. So you just have people to help you on that journey. So I'm happy to help you on your journey. And again, Rashad, thank you so much for all the incredible work that you do to helping our community. And I just love you dearly. And I'm happy to come back anytime.
Yes, we'll definitely have you back for sure, for sure. And then Mimi says, that sounds wonderful. I'm definitely getting on that while I'm in Atlanta. I love it. I love it. You guys, this has been such an amazing conversation. I thank you so much for you guys. I could join live. Again, make sure you share it with someone else. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day.